So this is the actual Party Mix Pro unit. And as you can see, it looks exactly like a regular Party Mix, except it has a huge speaker on it. So the whole idea for me about having this Party Mix Pro from Numark is to have a very portable setup that I can bring anywhere. It's even battery powered, so I don't even need any power. And I don't need a laptop either, because that's based on a Microsoft Surface Pro up here. It's a tablet that's running Windows, so I also run Virtual DJ. And I actually made an entire video about how to use that with Virtual DJ, how to set that up. So maybe look that up if you want to know more about how to add the Microsoft Surface Pro to the setup. And apart from that, I of course have my my headphones down here, so I can cue, and I also have a mic down here, so I can use the mic, and it's all attached to this unit that's running on battery. So it's very, very portable and quite fun to work with. So right now this is set up to just use the default mappings for this Party Mix Pro, which, as I said, is exactly the same as the Party Mix. But then I'll do another video where I show how I'll remap this unit to better support what I want to do. And then of course I've set up the tablet to use a touchscreen skin, so that I can touch everything up here and have much bigger buttons and have bigger faders and stuff like that. Much better for use with a touch skin. But apart from that, it's basically default Virtual DJ 2020. So the tablet here was actually a little bit too big to fit into the slot on the unit. So I had to make that a little bit bigger, and I used that by simply drilling it a little bit bigger. It was only a couple of millimeters, and now it fits perfectly, and it's very safe here. So that's nice. So all this of course means that I can simply locate a track, and load it, and play it like you would expect. And I can do all the standard DJ things you would expect me to be able to do on this kind of pretty small controller. So what more can we say about the actual unit? Well, as I said, it's battery powered. It's supposed to be able to last 8 to 10 hours. And you can actually charge other things up here if you want to from the battery in it. But since my Surface Pro only has one USB, I'm going to need to get another cable if I want to be able to charge this up here, which is of course also battery powered, but may last a little bit shorter than the 8 to 10 hours down here. Then it has all these connection options. That's of course the main power, which is not on because it's running on battery right now, so that's not plugged in. Then we have the headphones, then we have a USB, and we have the mic input. And that's what's currently connected and in use. And apart from that, we have an AUX input, so you can maybe attach a phone or another kind of player. And it also has a link output, which I'll get back to. Besides that, it actually also has the option to run as a Bluetooth speaker, but that's not really a good thing to use as a DJ because of the lag and the latency. So I'll probably never use it as that. Then another funny thing is that it actually has two master volumes. So it has a master volume down here, like you also see on the regular Party Mix. But it also has a master volume up here. That's kind of different. So why is it there? Well, the thing is that this is also, of course, it had a Bluetooth speaker and a mic speaker. So it has a mic volume and a master volume. So this is actually the physical, you can hear me turning it up, the physical part, and this down here is just a MIDI one. So I actually will suggest that you turn this all the way up and then adjust on this one, because this is way less noisy because it's just a MIDI one than this one, which is actually regulating the amp in this. Then the lights. As you can see, it just has a single button for lights, which I can press to turn up lights, and I can hold it to turn them on, off again. So this single button regulates all the lighting it can do. which I'll show you right now. So it actually has two kind of lights. It has the ones up here that's supposed to light up the dance floor or whatever you want to call it in front of you. And there are the ones down here that's actually inside the speaker, if you will. And that's mainly to look at, I think. And it has a little bit, about 20 programs to choose between. So every time you click the button, I showed you before, over here, it'll change the program. So now we have another program, as you can see down in the speaker part. And of course you can combine this with other lights if you want to. So I, for instance, have set up these other battery lights over here that I can turn on. And if I turn on the music a little bit, you see they also react to the sound like these ones over here. So these ones over here are Ape lights, pretty cool lights, but of course you can use any battery light to enhance the experience, and maybe put these lights out in the open area, separate places, and of course these are going to be right in front of you because they're part of the unit. So what about the mic input? Well, it works, as you can probably tell now, but it only has a single volume button up here, so you can't do very much to adjust the sound. So, and that of course goes directly into the unit and directly out of the speaker, so there's not much you can do about it. It is as it is. So, maybe most importantly, what does this thing sound like? Well, let's try turning it on and turn it up a little bit. Well, as you can probably tell, it's pretty boomy. So if you want to use it inside, you probably want to put it on a table instead of putting it on the floor, because otherwise it's just a whole lot of bass. But I've tried putting it outside, and then it has a decent sound balance. So it's definitely meant for outside use, or as I said, put it on a table if you want to use it inside. So is it loud enough to actually use? Well, depends on what you want to use it for. For a big DJ gig, no. For a small party in the backyard, maybe like a barbecue or whatever, yeah, then it's probably plenty loud to just pull out and do a DJ set out there. So yes, the unit is pretty loud for just normal gatherings in the backyard, like I said before. But as I said, it also has a link output. So you can actually turn down the volume here and then use the link output to connect separate speakers. So I've connected this Denon speaker, also battery powered, that I'll now turn on. And now it's actually running on the small Denon speaker. That's of course not what you're going to use, that was just an example. But you could maybe use some soundbox speakers like the ones that's in this image. So two of those, which are also battery powered, and you should have plenty of power to play like an entire backyard. And as you saw, I could turn down the volume up here for the local speaker, or the speaker in the unit, if you will. And then just have the Denon, which I then control by the master down here. Like that. Yet another option for connecting more active speakers is to add a secondary master and use the output on the actual tablet, as you can see here. So now you have another stereo output that you can connect to external speakers to get even more speakers connected to the setup. Okay, in conclusion, what do I think about this setup? Is it a cheesy setup with all the light and everything? Yes, it is. Is it powerful enough? Well, maybe not in itself, but if you attach secondary speakers, power speakers, well, yes, it is indeed. What about the action controller? Is that good enough? Well, I think so. I mean, it's an entry-level controller like the Party Mix, because it's the same thing, but it's definitely usable. So would I use this setup for like a paid gig, like maybe a wedding or a corporate event? No, I wouldn't. That'd be kind of cheesy to show up with this stuff, even if I attach secondary speakers. Would I use it for like 20-25 people in the backyard for a barbecue party with a few beers and a lot of great music? Yes, indeed I would. And I'm actually looking quite forward to doing that sometime in the future.